And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of This Is Our Life. Okay, I'm gonna deal with some issues here. I'm gonna try to get into the positive side of things. We've had a hard time since we moved here. Okay, I mean, I don't think I need to go and give a bunch of examples of the difficulties. That doesn't accomplish anything. The thing is, on the positive side, the thing is, changes are being made up here. Positive things are happening. Well, I am going to have to give some examples of some negatives, only to show that there's a better alternative. First of all, like I said, there are positive changes taking place up here. In the town we live in, I've never lived in a town, well, I've only lived in one other town somewhat like this, and that was in Texas. But we had problems with the county sheriff's department. Here we don't have problems with the county sheriff's department. My understanding is the sheriff's department is a problem, but they're not a problem in this town. They don't harass people in this town. The police in this town don't harass people, which is very good. They're not going to bother you unless you're actually doing something really wrong, hurting someone or hurting property. It's hard to find a place like this. We do need a grocery store in town. We definitely need a grocery store. There used to be one. It's vacant. There are 2 apartments upstairs. You know, somebody could buy it. It's for sale and it's cheap. Not cheap enough for us to buy it, but it's for sale and it's cheap. And it probably needs some work done on it. But hey, you get a grocery store in this town, that would make a big difference. Come here, Maggie. You all want to see Maggie? Oh, Maggie May. Yeah, Miss Maggie. Maggie, now be nice to Lucky. But, yeah, a grocery store would help this town a lot. Okay, some of the negatives and then the positives that could be done to make things better. When we moved up here, we stayed with a couple, and the male half of that couple has bipolar. He refuses to get help for it. He thinks randomly smoking pot helps him when it doesn't. And I like smoking pot, but my wife doesn't want me doing it, so I don't do it. Anyway, so what could have been done? Be nice, Maggie. Maggie, don't go after Lucky. Good. Good. You two are very good together. Yeah. Maggie didn't attack Lucky. She's getting better with him. Anyway. Well, first of all, people could have told us that he did what he did to us, he had done to other people. Okay? Telling us after the fact didn't do any good, did it? You should have said something beforehand so we could have done everything in our power to find another place to live. But you didn't do that. People have moved up here believing that there is this strong community, and then they find themselves all alone like we have. Well, if people have killed themselves, people have committed suicide thinking they were all alone. You're not alone. You don't know us, you haven't contacted us. Before you kill yourself, you contact us, because we will be there for you as best we can. You know, we're completely broke. We're, like I said in another video, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to food, and we don't even have enough gas to get into town. So anyway, so we can't give you money, but we can be your friend if we get along. If we get along with each other, and it doesn't mean we will get along, doesn't mean we won't get along. Well, I don't want you to kill yourself, because the world is a better place with you in it, not out of it. So, you know, you have the issue of people coming up here thinking there's a community, when they get up here being told, oh, you're an individual, you're an individual. You have very few people can actually live a truly solitary life. It's extremely, extremely rare. 99.99999% of humans need other people. That's just a fact. So if somebody comes up here and they're somehow involved, like we were with Kurt and Auburn. Auburn is okay, but she needs to stop enabling, so to speak, Kurt. He needs to get help, and that's that. And you're not helping him by doing what you're doing. Okay? He needs to get help, and if he winds up having to go to jail or even to prison, then that's what's going to happen. That, or he gets the help he needs. And what does he prefer? Prison, or taking a few pills that the doctor prescribes, the psychiatrist prescribes? Now, a lot of you believe in this Thomas Szasz idiot. You know, Thomas Szasz was an idiot. There are videos on YouTube of psychologists and psychiatrists that obliterate his arguments. Go look for them. You know, it's true, it's a choice. I take my medicine, you know, but it's a choice. I don't have to, but I'm not going to enable you, so to speak, if you refuse to take medicine to be stable. So, don't tell people that there is this strong, close-knit, interwoven community if you're actually not going to be there for people. And if people haven't been there for us. If you're going, like we've dealt with 2 people, more than 2 people. We have one person, she and her son come out and say, oh, you know, we're going to help you clean, we're going to stay there till it's done. You know, we paid her, what, $60. She said, you know, even if it takes longer than that, we're gonna be here till it's finished, you know, or we're gonna come back and finish it. And never did. Never replied to emails. Never replied to messages on Facebook. Haven't even been on Facebook today. I'm not sure I even want to go back on Facebook. It's just drama. And you know, don't tell us you're gonna do something and then you don't do it. And the person who gave us a ride into town on Wednesday, you should have called us on Thursday to let us know you were or were not going to be able to do something to give us a ride. We were left hanging. I don't appreciate that. I blocked you, by the way, on Facebook. The other person that came here with her son that we paid $60 to help clean, I didn't block her. I didn't unfriend her, but I unsubscribed to her. But since I probably won't be going back on Facebook, at least not anytime soon, I'm not even going to bother with her. A lot of activists work under the table, so to speak. Yet nobody will help us in that area. I'd have to go find a list of the good things that have happened here, but there are good things happening here, and that's because of the activists, some of the activists, not all of the activists. You know, when I watch Robin Hooding in Keene, some of what I see is very good, but when you're harassing the meter maid, that's not good. There's a difference between engaging in a conversation and harassment, and some of what I've seen has been nothing but harassment. Name calling is not engaging in conversation. You know, there's a limit. Most of what goes on with Robin Hooding is very good, even though technically what you're doing is not Robin Hooding, because Robin Hooding is stealing from the corrupt, stealing what the corrupt has stolen from the poor and returning it to those it rightfully belongs to. You're putting money in meters. You're still funding the state. You're just making sure they don't get more. So you put 25 cents in the meter. If they got a ticket, they'd be paying, instead of 25 cents, they'd be paying $25. The state's still making money off you, though. You know, now I've had ideas, and every single one of my ideas has been shot down. You know, I don't appreciate that, but you know, one of my ideas is to go door to door. There are at least two ways of doing door to door. There are several ways of doing door to door. You go door to door. You can just talk to people. Say, hey, you know, we're involved with this or that. We'd like to talk to you about it and see if you know about it. If you have any questions, we'd like to answer your questions. We have some literature we can give you. That's one way to do it. Another way is knock on the door, say we'd like to give you this literature, and that's that. Another way is to leave literature on doors. And it's not like Keene is a big city. It's not like it would take that long or that many people to do this in Keene. And it definitely wouldn't take long to do that here in Troy. And the thing is, I love the weather up here. I love it. Except for the 3 weeks of summer. But anyway, another thing that could be done is a mass mailing to people in the area. Another is to, you know, the newspaper works for the state. It doesn't work for the people. It's not independent or anything like that. And the mass media is just a part of the government. It's a propaganda arm of the government. But there are things that can be done. One, you could get a job with a newspaper delivering newspapers and make a bunch of flyers and stick those flyers in the newspaper that you're delivering. The flyer would be telling people about what the different projects are, what the different activism is, what we're trying to achieve. Another thing is you could do this, go to downtown Keene, go to the parking lots around Keene, the various parts of Keene, and put flyers on windows. I don't see why people aren't doing these things. It's like the activists have their own way of doing things, and that's the only way it's going to be done, even though frankly it's not really achieving the desired results. It's achieving some of them to a minuscule degree. So, you know, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again with the same results? And that's what you're doing. You're insane. You know, the activists could volunteer at the Keene Community Kitchen, giving out food on Wednesdays and Thursdays, wearing shirts, Cop Block shirts, Free Keene shirts, Free Talk Live shirts, volunteerist shirts, and hats. You could go to the Keene Community Kitchen and volunteer serving dinner, wearing the shirts and hats. Why aren't you doing these things? Why? I mean, come on now. And I'm older than most of you, so you know I've been around the block a few times. You know, I went from volunteering in homeless shelters down in Texas to having to live in two of them up here, because there is no activist community up here the way people try and make it sound like there is. Now, in Manchester and in other cities and towns, there seems to be more cohesion. I don't know if that's true or not, but I haven't heard of the same problems to the same degree in other places compared to the Keene area. And that's something y'all should think about, because it reflects on you. People see these things. Now, not just the activist and would-be activist, but just the people who live in the area, who aren't even involved. They see these things, and they see what kind of people you are, and that's not good. So anyway, you know, I don't want it to be misunderstood. There are some good people here, but they're in the minority, the extreme minority, and that's sad. So that's all I have to say. The reason I've been real quiet and the lights are off is my wife's still asleep. So thank you, and you have a good day. Bye bye.